What's up, everybody? This is Mario, and I'm back with another episode of Talking Endurance and Mastery. And today is Thursday, September 23rd, which means I am now 3 weeks out from Everesting 29029. And I'm starting to get super pumped. But the more that I've been talking about this event, a few of my friends and coworkers have just been asking me about, hey, like, when's your event? Hey, when's your event? And, just telling them that it's 3 weeks out, I've gotten this question of, well, how are you training for that? And I did an episode a few weeks ago talking about Everesting 29029, and I looked at what the first week in that 20-week training plan looked like. But what I want to do today is I want to share what this week of training looks like for Everesting 29029, and I'm going to bring it back to you. So first, I'm going to roll the trailer, and then we're going to get into it. Do you want to complete an endurance event and elevate all areas of your life, but you don't know where to start? Then you're in the right place. Talking Endurance and Mastery is a podcast to help you create a vision and take steps towards your goals and dreams. I'm your coach, Mario Minner. I've completed events like Ironmans and ultramarathons, but I believe the true benefit from endurance events is how they help you become the best version of yourself. Join me as I share stories, lessons, and interview guests to help you apply endurance and mastery principles into every area of your life. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, so I am 3 weeks out from Everesting 29029. And just as a refresher, or just for somebody who hasn't been listening and this is your first episode or you're new to the show, one of my next big endurance challenges is a new ultra endurance hiking event, which is called Everesting 29029. And what I'm going to be doing in about 3 weeks is I'm going to Vermont to Stratton Mountain. And I'm going to be taking on a challenge where I'm going to hike up a mountain, take the gondola down, and I'm going to do that 17 times in less than 36 hours until I reach 29,029 feet, which is the equivalent of Mount Everest. And so this is a new challenge, it's a new event, and it's a new community that is full of like-minded people just like me and you who believe that you can really become the best version of yourself through endurance. And as I've been talking to some of my friends and even coworkers about this, people have just been asking me, how do you even train for something like that, even in Iowa? And I think the cool thing about this type of an event is that I mentioned it's a community and there's coaches and there's people who have previously completed it. And we get on Zoom calls every couple of weeks. And there's also this app that we can use to communicate with one another. And they walk you through a training plan. And this training plan has been going for 20 weeks. And in one of my previous episodes, I shared what it looked like in week 20, I'm sorry, of the training plan. So this was right when the training was starting. And it was something like this. It was like a 30-minute walk or run on Monday. Then on Tuesday, it was a 40-minute run. On Wednesday, it was a rest day. On Thursday, it was a 30-minute run. On Friday, it was a rest day. On Saturday, it was a 45-minute run. And then on Sunday, it was a 45-minute cross training. So that's biking or swimming or strength training, just something that's a little bit different from walking or running. And when I had done that first episode, I think it was kind of eye-opening for a lot of people at how kind of approachable that felt and how kind of easy that was for a lot of people. And it's almost hard for people to understand, like, wait, if I want to hike 29,029 feet, that is like the first week of training. It almost seems like it's not enough. But this is really kind of the power of endurance. And this is what I have seen in training for Ironman events and training for or ultra marathon events and training for other types of endurance challenges. It's really not that difficult initially to get started. Where the challenge is being consistent with it and building and kind of increasing your distance, increasing the amount of time that you're spending week after week and not getting injured and doing it in a safe way where you build up over time. So that was week 20, and that was about 17 weeks ago. So if that's what it started out as, what does it look like now? And if you know anything about endurance, typically what you do is you build and you increase your volume around 10% from one week after the other. And you continually build higher and higher. A lot of times you have about a rest week every 3 to 4 weeks, and then you continue to build. And you typically have your longest workouts and your longest and most intense weeks about 2 to 3 weeks before the event. And that's what I want to go through today is I want to share what week 3 looks like of the Everesting training plan, because this is going to be one of the hardest and biggest volume and distance based workouts for the whole training plan. And just like it just like they had in the previous workouts, they do have different levels and different tiers. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the middle one. So on Monday, it is a 60 to 75-minute cross training. Tuesday is a rest day. Wednesday is 120 minutes of cross training. And then there's some hip exercises and mobility exercises. Then Thursday is a strength circuit and a 60-minute hike. Friday is a 45-minute run or hike, and then hip exercises and mobility exercises. Then Saturday is a 45-minute hike or run, and then 15 minutes rest. And you repeat that for 8 hours. So I'm going to say that again. It's a 45-minute hike or run, and then a 15-minute rest. And you repeat that for 8 hours. So, yes, I said that correctly, 8 hours. And then Sunday, after your 8 hours of exercise, it's a 45-minute hill or stair climber, 45 minutes of cross training, and then hip exercises and mobility exercises. And that Saturday workout of the 45-minute hike or walk and then 15 minutes rest, that's something you repeat for 8 hours. For the lower tier 1, you can do that for 8 hours. But for the highest tier, the challenge is to do that for 12 hours. So you can I think you can see that from that first week up until now, there's a massive change. But it is like I said, it is the power of endurance and having a training plan of slowly building up week after week. And this is something that has, started 20 weeks ago and has now built up to this moment. And, for me, I am not just training for Everesting 29029. I'm also training for a 50-mile ultra marathon. And so my 50-mile ultra marathon is 4 weeks after Everesting 29029. So I'm basically planning for the 50-miler and using that 50-mile training in order to prepare me for Everesting. So I'm not following this training plan exactly to a T, but I am, paying attention to it and trying to follow it as best as I can. And I just wanted to share this so that people can kind of understand if you're thinking about doing something like Everesting 29029, you can kind of get a feel for what would a typical week look like. Now, I share this just to educate you. I don't want to share this to scare you off from doing this type of an event, because this is likely to be the hardest, longest possible week out of the whole training plan, because the next 2 weeks after that are likely going to be a taper, and they're going to be much shorter than that distance. But that Saturday workout, 45-minute hike or walk, 15-minute rest, repeat that for 8 hours. That is basically set up to simulate what that event is going to be like as best as you can. And so, as I mentioned, I just wanted to share this content to educate people, to help them understand what does training look like. And as I bring it back to you, basically the whole point of this episode is showing the power of a training plan and how you can start off at a very kind of easy level. But if you slowly build up and you stay consistent and you do it for 20 weeks, let's say, or even more than that, you're going to be capable of such powerful things. You're going to be capable of more than you possibly thought. And as I bring it back to you, and I don't know exactly what your goal is, but I just want to ask you, do you have a training plan? Do you have some sort of schedule or detailed breakdown of something that can help you build up your skills, build up your strengths over time? Do you have something that's going to tell you what to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? And if you don't, try and find a plan, try and create something for yourself. Or that's where you can work with somebody like me, a coach who can come up with a plan and put something together for you. And it doesn't matter if it's an endurance event or if it's, becoming happier in your life or, being more successful at work or even just having better relationships. You need a plan to help you get there. And it starts with visualizing what a success look like, jump to the end, and then come up with a plan of where are you at currently and where do you want to go. And that's basically the whole point of today's episode. And so that is what I have for today. I hope that you found value in it. If you did, please consider leaving a 5-star review. Those types of things are extremely helpful for me as I keep getting one step closer to my goal of doing an episode every single day for a year. So that's what I have for today. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later.